Hi guys, it's Saturday and I am so excited to be, excuse me, be off work today. And I'm just going to show you how I made these adorable buttons out of Shrinky Dinks. And I will have to credit Robin Marie Smith for getting me started on the idea. Video where she showed how she did, she drew a floral on Shrinky Dink and then made a closure on a journal out of it. I decided I wanted to make some buttons. And these buttons over here were done with, I don't know if you can see this one, these little white, teeny tiny white dots. These were made with paint pens. And some of them have 2 holes because I'm going to use it as a button. Some, it only has 1 hole because I'm going to use it as a journal closure. That one's made with pink. And you see they're kind of wonky in some places. I can sand that down if I want, but I kind of like them like that. There's a paint pen, paint pen. This one I made bigger to do a journal closure with. And I just drew that with pen and paint marker. Then these 2 here, these are made with pieces of collage fodder. This is a little piece from a piece of music out of an old hymn book that has some paint on it. This is a piece that I made in fodder school, just a little section cut out of it that I loved. And then these, I don't know, I might be most excited about these. These were made with napkins. And what I did was, did the layer of matte gel medium on them and then put my napkin down and then another layer on top of that to make it, what happens is they get translucent when you do that, so you can kind of see through them. But I think these all just turned out so pretty. I wanted to share them with you and show you how I do it. This one would have been better if the flower, it was the center of the flower ended up being right in the middle of the button, so I can't really tell what that is, but there's another one. That one's a little harder to see. But they were so fun to make, and I'm going to show you how I did it. And I don't have a working oven, so I use my trusty heat gun. It works just fine. And I have this big hole punch. It's 2.5 inches. And then I just have a sheet of shrink plastic. It's not technically the original Shrinky Dinks, but it's shrink plastic that I got off Amazon. Works the same exact way. And what I do is I line it up in here to get the maximum amount of them out of this piece of shrink plastic. I'll get that right. Kind of work my way around this piece of it and try to fit as many as I can. I can get 6 out of this one sheet if I do it right. Just work my way around, punch them all out. You can do other shapes as well, but this size, this shape, and this size right here is the just the easiest shape to make the buttons that I was wanting to make. Okay, so I've got my little circles, and now I need, this is We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile. This is a hole puncher though, it's not, it doesn't crop anything, I don't know what that's about, but what I do is this, the largest hole looks really big, but once it shrinks, it works out to be the perfect size. As you can see, those are really good. They're placed wrong on this particular one, but they're a good size of buttonhole. So I just put it in here. Gotta watch your eye because they do go flying sometimes. And I try to line it up so that they'll be in about the middle, because it won't go completely in the middle because of the size it is. But I can get it pretty close, doing one on each side. But if I do just one hole, like for the journal closure, it's always a little off center, but that's okay. I'm going to do a couple like that too. You see those things just flying in the air? I hit myself in the face with one the other day, so I learned, do not point it at your head because you put an eye out with that business. Okay, so here's all my little button pieces, okay? So now what we're going to do, the first, you're going to shrink it before you put any art on it, okay? I don't know if you can see that. I think you'll be able to see it once it starts to shrink. Just take my heat gun. It's only got 2 settings, and I do it on the highest one. And I also, you need something flat to flatten it down with once it gets hot. When you heat it up long enough, it will start to flatten out again, but you have to have something flat to smash it with to completely flatten it out, okay? So this is just a brush. It's a brush cleaner that my daughter got me for Christmas. And it's got a flat top, and it's about the right size, so I just keep that handy. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to start heating it up, and then watch the magic. I go around in a circle. Oh, there it goes. And be real careful not to burn yourself. Okay, so now it's starting to flatten out. And then I just shove that down on it. Press it down for a couple of seconds. And you want to be careful not to touch it when it's hot because it will burn you. And it's a little bit warm right now, but it's not too bad. But look at that. It's the perfect size. It's got a little bit of texture on it, but that's okay. Perfect size for a button. Okay. So then what I do is, let's see what we want to do with this one. Now, if I were doing this kind, I would put my paint on it before I shrunk it. So since I shrunk this one, let's do a piece of a napkin. And I am very fond of this napkin that I have right now, but I don't think I'm going to do that one. Actually, yeah, I am. It's the only one close. Okay. So I think I don't know if I've showed you this or someone showed you this. I found it on YouTube. On the back of your napkin, you know that a napkin is more than one ply. And we just want to get the ply off that has the image printed on it. So if you turn it over, you see these little white dots, little like embossed little dots on there. If you will, in my hand, I apologize, my hand is still numb from other things I've been doing, but if you will rub on those little dots, just kind of smash them between your fingers, smash them down and roll it, it will start to separate the layers. I don't know how or why it does it, but it does. Sometimes I got to do it a lot, and I think the problem I'm having with this one is that I can't feel my fingers on my right hand. Let's see. Come on. Bear with me. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it takes a while. So you see an edge pop up, but I swear, if you just keep rubbing on those dots and rubbing it between your fingers, you're going to see it. Eventually, here, at any time now, it's going to, there we go. It's going to separate. This particular napkin, let's squeeze it again, roll it again, has 3 layers. Oh, I thought I saw a corner there, but maybe I didn't. You're not giving up. Come on. It's good that you're seeing it like this because more times than not, this is how it works. Sometimes it just separates perfectly. Sometimes it does not. Maybe we'll try a different piece of napkin. Here, this is a pretty little yellow flower. This one has actually already been separated. So that's fine. So then you just decide kind of where you want. I think I like it right there in the middle. And then I'm going to take my matte gel fluid medium, and then I have a dirty plastic brush, silicone brush, and you just brush it on there. And then you place your napkin. I'm going to put some of the blue in there too. Make it blue and yellow. Put your napkin on there. You want to have a little bit of matte gel medium on your silicone brush as you're pushing it on. And it will start to tear away if you get it wet enough. Okay, that looks good. All right, and then I do take my heat gun again on the low setting and dry that because I'm too impatient to wait for it to dry on its own. Give it a little dry. And then I have a little piece of sandpaper. I will just kind of go around the edges. Anything that's sticking out. Be careful not to sand on the image because it will sand it right off. Okay, so there's that. And then you can use the end of a paintbrush, or I have this little pokey tool I use all the time. Poke it through there. A paintbrush, actually, if I had the right size, would work better because this is small and it doesn't get the paper all the way through. But it does it enough for you to get the idea. Okay, so there's my little, you can't really tell that it's a flower, but it's pretty colors, yellow and purple and blue. Okay, so that's how I do that. If you want to see one, here's another piece of that art that I used on collage fodder that I used on that other button. let's use it. Actually, let's do a paint marker one. And you're going to do it on the shiny side. What should we draw? Let's see which marker I can find. Okay, I think on this one, I'm just going to draw some circles. Big polka dots. They don't all have to be the same. They can be kind of wonky. I like them to be a little more interesting than just a normal plain circle. Okay, and see now I'm drawing this on before I melt it. And you can make some that kind of go off. Off the edge. Okay, so kind of some fun little, and if you want, you can, oh no. You can draw around the edge. I'm not going to because I'll just make a mess and I don't want to do that. But you can draw around the edge and give it a border. All right, so I got my handy dandy smashing tool, got my heat gun. And it starts to lay out on its own. Starts to flatten out on its own. That's how you know you've done it long enough. You heated it up long enough. Smash it. There we go. It's kind of fun, little graphic design on there. But I love how it shrinks down what you painted on there so perfectly. And I would never be able to draw those that tiny, so that's cool. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do this art on it. Okay, but I did try putting this on before I shrank it. Doesn't work because this doesn't shrink. So you have to shrink this first. Okay. So here we go. I really hope you're able to see how it does that. My heat gun's not in the way. Just keep heating it up so it starts to flatten out. I grabbed it with my fingers. I should not have done that because it didn't burn me, but it could have burned me really badly. Okay, this one might be a little wonky on that side. No, it turned out okay. All right, so it's a little bit hot. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it on here and do the same thing. With this, though, I'm going to use gel matte medium. It's thicker. And since I don't need it to make it translucent, it helps my art stay on there better. Oh gosh, this is such a pretty piece. I don't know where. I'm going to do it right there. Push it down. Now for this one, I could have traced around the button and cut the piece out first, which might have been a good idea, but you know, here we are. I'm just going to take scissors and just trim right around it. Because the button is kind of thick, it's easy to do it. And any pieces I miss, I can sand off. Okay, turned out pretty good. And this is one that just has one hole in it because I want to use it as a closure. Find the hole. And there you go. A cute little piece made with a piece of my own art, own collage fodder. So there you have 3 cute little buttons. Easy to make, fun to play with, and you can add to them after you get them like that if you want. And I was going to show you one in a journal. I'm going to have to do a flip through of this journal. I put one of them in here. Okay, on this page, that's a little button. All I did was splatter paint pens on it. Just shook them, splattered it, and then sewed it on there. So they're very easy, very fun to make. And I'm going to try to do these little sessions. I'm going to call them Saturday sessions every once in a while. And teach you some stuff. And hopefully experiment together and we'll learn some things and have a good time. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you do it, be sure to tag me so I can see the buttons that you make. Bye.